prepping for this video was way more stressful than I thought it would be. Hey lovelies, today we're talking about eyeshadow, and this is something that I truly love. If you've been here on my channel before, you'll know that eyeshadow palettes are really like something that speaks to me very deeply, and it's something that I really enjoy. So when I saw that Morgan Turner and Charlotte Holdcroft were doing the eyeshadow wardrobe tag, I was super excited. If we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I am a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on YouTube, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. Now, if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to subscribe, but I want to talk to you a little bit about this tag. If you're not familiar with it, it's essentially taking different times in your life or different events and choosing one palette that you think would serve you best. And I think that this is a lot of fun. Like, it really makes you think about the palettes that you have. And for me, it was a little bit stressful because I'm a girl who needs her options. Like, just picking one is like pretty hard, but it also made me look at my collection and realize just how much shadow I have, but it also kind of made me feel like I need more. Like, I was like, wait a minute, do I really have like one amazing superstar palette for this occasion? I'm sure I do, but I really did find some good ones, so I'm very excited to share these with you. Now, I'm also very excited to share with you the ladies that I am doing this collab with. Now, first, let's talk about Jennifer over at Feisty. Now, I love Jennifer. I actually just recently talked about her in my Mulan ColourPop video, because I find that I'm oftentimes watching her videos like while I'm filming. So anyway, total rant to start off. We're doing really well. But Jennifer is one of those like multifaceted women. She does a lot of high-end and luxury on her channel, but I've also seen her get into some drugstore. So I think that she has this really great balance, and she has some beautiful videos. So if you really love those luxury products, you want to know the deets on the tippy top products, I would definitely check her out. We also have Yadi over at Yadi Beauty. You guys know I've talked about Yadi before, and man, this woman has such a big heart, and she is just like so loving. Like, that's all I can say. And she has such a great channel. She really, again, like has a great mix of reviews. She has some fun like tag videos, and I think that it's really been interesting seeing her grow more as a makeup lover, because like I'm seeing her, maybe it's because of Jennifer, but I'm seeing her like get a little bit more into the luxury items. So she's definitely a fun one to watch. Please check her out. I love her so much. I'd also like to share with you Aileen over at Merch Beauty. She is super funny, just such a wonderful person, and she is the queen of GIFs and text messages. Let me tell you guys, like, that woman has it down. But she does a lot of beauty and fashion on her channel, so if you are looking for some really great steals, I would check her out. I love her little like sassy attitude, and that woman just like kind of tells you how it is. Now, the last cutie in this quintet is someone that you've already met if you've been watching my channel for a while, and that's Kara over at Beauty in the Frizz. I have collabed with Kara before when we did our Tiny Marvels palette bingo, which was a lot of fun. Kara is, I don't know, just one of those like shining souls. She is very sweet, and she always has such a beautiful message in her videos, and she's like the queen of swatching. And I know that she gets mad when we all talk about this, but I just love the swatch portions of her videos. She just does it so well. I love her attitude. Like, she's just such, like I said, a shining star, and I really enjoy watching all of her videos. So please make sure that you check all these ladies out. I think this is gonna be a great pairing because we have a wide variety of skin tones. We have very different styles and aesthetics between all of us. So this is really gonna be a great way to see lots of options. So if you guys would like to know about my choices for my eyeshadow wardrobe, let's get right into it. Okay, we have 10 categories to get through, so I'm gonna try to keep this somewhat brief for each one. Well, as brief as I can do. All right, so this first category is one that I struggled on a little bit. It's wedding, and not like necessarily as a person getting married, but if you're going to a wedding. And I have a hard time with that because I don't necessarily have like a go-to wedding vibe. I feel like I kind of like wear something different. Is it a summer wedding? Is it a fall wedding? Is it a spring wedding? So what I thought I would do is just pick something that works for all the occasions and that's really easy to use and user-friendly. So surprisingly enough, I pulled out my Lorac Pro palette. Now, honestly, I kind of want to say both of these because depending on which way you like to go, if you like to go more warm toned or cool toned, I think it would depend on which palette you would pick. But this is the Lorac Pro 1. It's the original. This is honestly probably like one of my first higher end palettes that I ever got. I think that this, yes, it's a basic, but it really has everything you could want. You can see that I've used it a lot. Wait till I show you the two. But this has a beautiful layout because it has all your mattes on the top, all the shimmers on the bottom. Nothing is like overly flashy, so you're not gonna like compete with the bride. So I think that this is a great one, but to me this has a little bit more neutral to warm tone. Now the Pro 2 palette is definitely more on the cooler side of life, but it has one of my all-time favorite shades, and that's this rosé shade. You guys can see I have like super hit pan on this, but I also wanted to give these a mention because I saw that they're on sale this week during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. So on Thursday the 10th, these palettes are on sale for 50% off. So that means that you can get them for $20, which is an amazing steal. And I know when I did my 21 Days of Beauty, I kind of like passed over this deal, but I think honestly, most people have these palettes or had them at one point in time, but I do really love the shadow formula. It is a bit of a softer formula, but I think that they are super blendable and beautiful, and if you pick them up for 20 bucks, they can't be beat. And we all know that wedding season can get super expensive between the gifts that you give, the dress that you buy, all of that stuff. So getting this palette for 50% off this week would be a great way to save some money. Okay, let's talk about date night. Now, for me, again, this is a time where I don't necessarily have like a go-to look. I'm not just always like a romantic look. I'm not always like a sultry, smoky look. I really like just about everything. But I did go ahead and pick a palette that has a special place in my heart, and this is the So Jaded palette with Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. Now, you might look at this color story and think like, really, Kelly, date night? But I picked this because this is the palette that Jeremy and I used for the his and hers look. So if you guys haven't seen that, I'll link it up here. But basically I let him pick like 4 or 5 shades from this palette, and I had to come up with a look, and then I picked 4 or 5 and did a look on the other side. So we had a lot of fun doing that. But like I said, I'm a girl who really likes her options, and this palette has tons of options. I mean, you could do everything from a neutral look to something like really glittery. You have some beautiful colorful pops in here, and I think Jeremy's really open to a lot of different looks, and he compliments me on a lot of different things. So I think that this is a great palette to have, and we have such good memories over filming that video. All right, so now we're going from date night into girls' night, and I wanted to pick something that I knew that my girls would truly appreciate, and that is the Pat McGrath Mothership Rose Decadence palette. Now, partially, I'm picking this because one of my girls did gift this to me. You guys know that Yadi actually gave this palette to me, but I really do think that this has a strong girls' night vibe. Like, you have these beautiful shades, you've got some lovely shimmers. You could make this a deep or like light and sort of playful look. I think that, you know, you could play it up with lashes and liner and do the things that only your girls are gonna appreciate, right? And you know that whole saying of like, females don't dress up for males, we just dress up for other females, like, because we're the ones that really appreciate that. I think that that's where this comes in with this palette. Like, my girl squad is totally gonna get the Pat McGrath vibes more than Jeremy. So I'll stick to ColourPop for him, Pat McGrath for the ladies. All right, vacation palette. Now this one was super easy for me. I grabbed it right away because I have actually taken this one on vacation, and that's the Dream Street collab with Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. Yes, another Kathleen Lights ColourPop collab. You guys know I love me some ColourPop shades, and I love Kathleen, but I think that this palette is so beautiful. I unfortunately don't think that you can get this one anymore, but this to me was the perfect picks for me on vacation because it really has a lot of the colors that I like to wear when I am on vacation. It has, of course, these beautiful like coppery rose goldy shades, and then you also have a pop of that lovely coral shade and some teals. So I really enjoy this palette. Again, like I said, I have actually taken this on vacation with me. Actually, one year when I went on a cruise, I took this one and the Zodiac palette, and that's the only ones that I took, and I was very pleased with all of the combinations that I could come up with. All right, now a perfect palette for graduation. I think that this one is maybe going to be a little bit surprising, but I thought it was interesting because I think Morgan Turner picked the same one, and that is the Wayne Goss Imperial Topaz palette. I truly picked this one because I think it's just got a beautiful mix of classic neutrals. Now, if you guys didn't catch the video that I did on this, I did a day to night look with this palette, so it is super versatile, and I think that you really can get a lot of different looks out of it. You can certainly get something that's like very, very natural. You could also like glam it up and smoke it out, and you can really get a little bit of sparkle from this too. So I think that this does have a lot of options within one tiny palette. So when I think of graduation, I think of kind of like a poised, professional, yet still like personable feel, and I think that you can really get that from this. So this is the palette that I chose for graduation. All right, the perfect palette for Christmas Day. Now, I could see a lot of people choosing palettes that have like a red vibe to them, but on Christmas, I actually a lot of the time will wear red, so I feel like that gets like way too monochromatic. I prefer to wear something that's like really shimmery or like glossy. So right away, the first one that came to mind was the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. And as I'm pulling this up, I can like Already smell it. It smells so good. I think that this palette was kind of a sleeper. Like, I didn't hear a lot about it. I think I got it on sale at Ulta. Sorry, I'm really having a hard time not blinding you with this palette, but this palette has some beautiful, like, gold shimmers. You've got a rose gold, you've got some coppers. You do also have two greens here. You've got like an olive and more of an emerald. You have just enough mattes to be able to get you through a full cohesive look. And I really do enjoy this palette. So I think that it's still available. I highly recommend snagging it if you can. And it smells so good. Okay, let's talk about birthday. Now, it was sort of unclear to me whether or not this was my birthday party or someone else's birthday party. And it might sound silly to sort of differentiate between the two, but if it's my birthday, I want something that looks especially good on me. And so for this, I chose the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. Again, another blinding package, but this is one of the mini palettes, and the reason that I chose this is it has some of these more like burgundy raspberry shades, which I think really pulls out the green in my eyes, because anytime that you have like a red next to a green, you're gonna get that like extra pop, but I'm not wearing like full-on red shadow. Anyway, sorry, total tangent there, but I do also love that this has these beautiful shimmers. You have a beautiful rose gold. If you guys know, I'm all about the rose gold. And we have some lovely warm shades that I think that are just super flattering. So this would be one that I would choose for myself on my birthday. Now, I'm gonna cheat and throw in an extra here because I think I would truly pick a different palette if it was for someone else's birthday, because to me, that's a chance to like maybe play with a little bit more color or do something a little bit more fun. And I chose the Tiny Marvels palette, which is of course the collab between Mel Thompson and Sydney Grace. So I really think that this has so many fun options in it. I mean, you have some beautiful shimmers. You of course have these couple pops of color, and I really just enjoy playing with this palette and have a lot of fun with it. So I think that this is the perfect vibe for someone else's birthday, if that makes sense. Like, I think I'd be in such a happy mood before going to a birthday party by playing with this palette. I mean, not that I wouldn't be in a happy mood by wearing this one, of course, but I think that this one is just more flattering on my eyes, whereas this one is just a lot of fun to create with. A palette that's gonna serve you well for the office or for work. Now, here's one of these times that, in all honesty, this just doesn't maybe necessarily apply to me. As a hairdresser, I feel like I really have like carte blanche. Like, I can wear whatever I want to work. It's very acceptable in my industry to wear like neon green eyeshadow with purple liner, like whatever you wanna do. So I sort of wanted to pick out something that is, I would say, a little bit more appropriate for everybody, but that still has great options. Like I said, I'm a girl who needs options, and having like, let's say, a boring neutral palette maybe wouldn't be my jam because it would just be like monotonous, right? So I wanted something that has a little bit of a surprise. So I actually chose the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. Now, the reason I chose this palette is because while it is, for the majority, a very neutral palette, you do get a couple fun pops in here. You get that nice like olive green, you get a nice plum and like almost like a brownie plum. So I think that you could really, honestly, 5 days a week, wear this and really come up with very different looks for every day. And another important thing is I really think that your looks could come very quickly from this. I mean, in the morning when we're getting ready for work, a lot of us don't want to spend a ton of time, but you could very easily combine 2 or 3 shades from this and get a beautiful look and get out the door. Our next category is the everyday palette, or like the Errands on the go palette. I will not be surprised if a lot of people pick this palette. This is the Going Coconuts from ColourPop, and the reason for this is really, I mean, it's just such a very basic but beautiful palette. You get these like, I would say, cooler toned neutrals. You do get like, almost, this one has like a pinkier vibe to it, but you get a couple beautiful shimmer shades if you did want to wear something that has a little glow to it. Now, I'm not saying that this palette doesn't have its options, because it certainly does. I actually did a soft glam for hooded eyes with this, and I thought it turned out really beautiful. But I think that this is lovely because you could very easily just use it really quickly. You could certainly just do one wash of color all over the lid, or maybe do one color in your crease and then pop a little bit of a shimmer onto the lid and have a little bit more of that definition. So you could really get out the door pretty easily with this, but still feel a little bit more refined and polished for your day. All right, another category that I kind of struggled with is New Year's Eve. And again, it's because I don't necessarily have like one vibe. I think that New Year's Eve is the time that you could certainly like do whatever the hell you want, right? I mean, that's the one night to pull out all the stops if you so choose. So at one point I almost was going to put the So Jaded palette into this slot, but because that does hold memories for Jeremy and I wanted to stick it under date night. But I do have one more ColourPop for you guys. I'm sorry, I'm a ColourPop girl, and this is the Disney Mulan palette. Now, if you guys saw my recent video, you know that I love this palette. And to me, I look at this and this is very New Year's Eve. I mean, you have this beautiful black that has that little bit of shimmer if you wanted to go like full on smoky smoke. You also have this wonderful red shade, this like fiery red and gold shade. I use this for a look on Instagram and it is so gorgeous. And you also have some very high shine, high shimmer, high glitter, blinging from the heavens options in here. You've got the gold, of course. You've also got this like reflective champagne. And then if you're sort of looking for just like a sophisticated high glam look, I think this like a girl shade is a beautiful one for all over the lid. So you've got lots of options in here, which is totally up my alley. And I could see, I mean, right off the bat, I could see like 3 or 4 New Year's looks in my head right now. All right, now as another special mention, I know that I'm cheating on this tag so much, but what can I say? I want to mention the Natasha Denona Glam Palette. Now I did order this. It's not here yet, so I'm sorry that I can't include it. But right away, when I saw that New Year's option, I did really think about this palette because when I look at it, it does have those beautiful options for like super high shine lids. You can smoke it up. You can really like blur it out and have that more like model-esque appearance. So I think that this is going to be a good one. Now, since that one is on the way to me, of course, I do plan on doing a video with that, giving you guys some first impressions and doing a couple looks with it. So that'll be coming soon. So I do want to just kind of like slide that one in here. I haven't used it, so I can't attest to the quality of it, but I mean, it is Natasha Denona. Okay, well now I have eyeshadow palettes strewn about the room, but I did have a lot of fun doing this. I want to thank Morgan and Charlotte for doing this fun tag. I think that it's a really good way to sort of like look into your collection and see the potential that's there. It might also be a way to see like maybe some things that you need to declutter, or maybe areas that you actually have like a little hole in your collection, something that you're missing. All right, I hope you guys had fun learning my picks for this eyeshadow wardrobe tag. I'm really excited to see the other girls that I'm collabing with, seeing their videos. We haven't really talked about our picks, which I think is good because then we're all like, you know, making those individual choices, but I'll be curious to see if we have any crossover, and I want to know what you guys would pick. So let me know down below if there was something for a category that you like, ooh, I know right away which one I'd use. I'd love to know. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here on my channel. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like. If you're coming from one of the other wonderful ladies' channels, I would love it if you would consider subscribing here so you don't miss out on my future videos. I would love to get to know you down in the comments, so please give me a wave. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you really soon. But it's very understated, and how am I supposed to do this here? That one almost really went down. Things we do for thumbnail shots. Okay, we're done. We found one.